unlawful behavior, your safety cannot be guaranteed. Lethal force may be used. This is private property. You are trespassing.
First thing you'll notice, this is not a tactical headset. This is the headset that I wear inside while I'm using the computer. I'm on the phone with 911 in this scenario. In this scenario, I've called 911 and I'm wirelessly communicating with the police, with the dispatcher, letting them know where I am. So I'm still able to do stuff. I'm hands-free while I'm talking to the 911 operator. That's huge. Having a hands-free method of being able to dial 911 quickly and to be able to still work while you're on the phone with 911 is important. This is the Eminent DX80 32,000 lumen flashlight. I got it positioned to where it's pointing toward the door. I could also position this toward my back door if I needed to. I've practiced this scenario in different places of the house. You'll notice there was a megaphone involved. And the megaphone is broadcasting a pre-recorded message letting the trespasser know that they're trespassing and that if they continue their unlawful behavior, their safety cannot be guaranteed. This is the most aggressive thing that my attorney told me to record. Any more aggressive than that and you could run into some law enforcement bias and legal issues and stuff like that. But this is really about legally setting yourself up as the defender. If the police arrive and they hear you broadcasting this, there's no way the other person can pretend like they didn't know what was going on, right? So this is very good. This further insulates you from legal liability. You are broadcasting a message that they are trespassing and that you may use force on them. You're broadcasting that message. So you got an extremely bright flashlight, 32,000 lumen light. You have a megaphone to broadcast a message that's on repeat over and over again. I'd be careful about that because you may need to be able to hear you talking with your teammates and all that. If you have teammates in your home defense situation, I'd be careful about it. I would turn it up to the volume that's reasonable. I didn't have it turned all the way up. It can go louder than that. But I would turn it up to the extent that the bad guy can hear it. And now we're on to the part you've been waiting for. This is the SABRE Pepper Ball Launcher. This is a chemical defense weapon, 100%. It's got an O-light attached to it, and I got a green laser. This is the O-light Balder S, and what I like about it, I mean, it's kind of funny because it's on a yellow gun, but we do have the momentary on-off, which I'm always a fan of, momentary on-off. So this is the Balder. There's other videos for this. It's not actually loaded at the moment, but you put the CO2 cartridge into there, pepper projectiles into the magazine, and then you put the magazine in the same way you would with a real firearm. I got mixed opinions about the yellow. The reason I don't really mind that it's yellow is I don't really mind that it's yellow. I kind of wish it wasn't yellow, but it's okay that it's yellow. The reason I'm okay with it being yellow is simple. It's not your main thing. If that fails, you have something lethal to fall back on. Now, I am a convicted felon, so the weapon in this video is an airsoft gun. If I did have a real weapon, I wouldn't tell you. I'm not saying I do, I'm not saying I don't, but if I did, I wouldn't tell you. But for reference, I just want to show how easy it would be to put this away and then to switch. You know what I'm saying? I got momentary on, off, and strobe on this. It would be very easy to switch to other weapons. It's not that difficult to switch to other weapons. Having this, don't think that I'm some pacifist, that I'm not Batman, okay? This is to shield yourself from legal liability in case you need to go to something more deadly. Things get complicated when somebody dies. And the reason things get complicated is it's simple. The prosecuting attorney needs a body to prosecute, and they can't prosecute a dead body. And I know that this is a very cold, hard thing that I'm saying, but it's the truth. The prosecutor needs a body to prosecute, and they can't prosecute a dead body. So if you take this thing and you shoot the bad guy's eye sockets out, they have a body to prosecute. The guy's still alive, right? If you shoot them and they die, the only living body for them to prosecute is yours. And they want to get as many convictions as possible, especially murder convictions under their belt. So you need to do everything you can to set yourself up from legal liability, and you also need to understand the emotional stress caused by both you and your family if you have to kill somebody. Do you want the media outside of your house hounding you? Do you want political organizations accusing you of being some monster? There's all types of things that could happen as a result of killing somebody. It's not as simple as you think. Taking a life is very, very, very complicated. It will make your life complicated no matter what. Even if you're not arrested, even if you're not prosecuted, it's going to make your life more complicated than you want it to be. You do not want the first thing you go to be lethal force. You want to be able to have a non-lethal option. Even the police have a non-lethal option. Why can't you? They carry tasers. This is a very cost-effective non-lethal option, and you're less likely to be prosecuted. You're less likely to have to take a life. You're less likely to traumatize your children. Even if you believe that you can take a life and not feel emotionally bad about it, think about your children. Think about your wife. Think about your family. Think about even your mother and father. It's not glamorous to take a life. It's I don't want to go into it, but I've known many people that have killed people, and you want to avoid it if at all possible. You don't want to have to kill somebody if you could possibly avoid it. And this is how you can do that. And you can also protect yourself from a prosecutor that wants to ruin your life for politically motivated reasons, and they do exist. They definitely exist, as you guys are aware. And the bottom line is, if you do have to switch to lethal force, you can say that you've exhausted all options. And there's no way a prosecutor can get mad at you for shooting somebody that's breaking into your home if you've already used non-lethal force and you have a megaphone telling them that the police are on their way. When you've already used non-lethal force and you got a megaphone going off, you're morally absolved of basically anything that happens after that. It's very reasonable to say that you're in fear if you hit somebody with that pepper ball gun and they keep on going. So remember, part of being a responsible citizen in the 21st century is having a measured approach to things. It's not in your family's well-being to immediately go to lethal force. It's not going to go down well in today's political and social climate. You want to insulate yourself from legal liability, and you want to insulate your family from the trauma. Do you really want to clean up a big pool of blood in your living room? Do you really want to go through that? Do you want your kids to see that? Do you want your kids to see a dead body in your living room and a giant pool of blood that you got to clean up? I mean, I don't want my family to see that if I could possibly avoid that. So I really think these things are like $140, and I recommend you go ahead and put a light on this. So you can get more than one magazine. It's just important to remember that each magazine holds the CO2 container inside of it. I'm going to be shooting this thing, by the way, so I hope you're subscribed to this channel because I'm going to be shooting this thing. There's a case to be made for potentially getting more than one of these because I think the magazines are like, I want to say they're like $35. And so I'm thinking about just getting more than one of these. That way I'll have extra magazines that way, and I'll have more than one pepper ball gun, which could be fun. I mean, the one that I have now is for serious purposes, but if I got more than one, then I'd probably just have fun with it, you know? These things could also be, they could be a source of amusement, entertainment. I wouldn't say these are a toy because they're not. But I would say to get more proficient with them, absolutely, you should practice with them. And so the case can be made for buying more than one of these, if nothing else, because, the magazine interchangeability and all that. And again, I encourage you to know your local laws, know your rights. Definitely make sure the 911 operator knows that you're in fear for your life because that's recorded and that can be used for you. 911 recordings can be used for you. What you say to the police officer for the most part can only be used against you. Talk to your attorney. Tell the 911 operator what's going on, but when the police get there, make sure to let them know you have an attorney and that you'd like to talk to your attorney. Invoke your Fifth Amendment right immediately. You guys can listen to me if you want, or don't listen to me. It doesn't cost that much money. Some of you guys are already buying Daniel defense rifles and all that. What's another few $100 on something that can prevent you from having to kill somebody. I'm not going soft on you. I'm not telling you that you can't handle business if you have to. I'm just saying you should have more options in your toolkit. Psychological warfare is not just for the military. It's for civilians. Civilians, property owners, absolutely need to invoke psychological warfare. Remember that. Jordan Jareb, signing off.